Hi everyone, it is me, Jordan. Hi everyone, it is me, Sailor Moon, Serena here, and today we're going to talk about was the Renaissance Atlantic Entertainment or New Birth, Great Sea Glee Sailor Moon, was it as bad as a lot of folks make it out to be? And first off, I would say no, because no one really saw it until the 8th month of 2022 YL. So no, really no one really had a thought on it. Or if they did, it would mostly came out of the drawings that were seeked it out. Need be the writing about how the show was going to be, and that may have been it. You know. But at the end of the day, this Sailor Moon is outstanding on the grounds that no one ever really saw it. Well, it was freed out for a show in between 98 YL, but mostly after that, no one else saw it. But I do think at the end of the day, if it would have gone beyond the one following, I believe that it would have worked. But then again, knowing a lot of folks in the Sailor Moon followership, there would have been things that they would have, bitched it about, ranted about, either scathed, like first off saying, they would have made a big deal about the sky ships, or do we call them starships? And I guess you would call them starships. But then again, them being sailor fighters, and they're in outer rooms, so yes, it would be some kind of starship of some kind. So they would have bitched about that. They'd say, "Oh, well, there was no starships, and they didn't have starships and all the other ones." True. I think another thing they would have made a big deal about was, in every telling or take of Sailor Moon, it always has to do with, new birth, or being born again from a former life, not having any thoughts of that former life, and they would have bitched about, oh, so now they didn't get might, or, or they weren't born again from their former lives in the past. So, yeah, they would have bitched about that. And I think at the end of the day, they would have made a big deal about Luna being a white cat instead of being either blue or black, depending to whatever offshoot it happened to be. So yeah, and they would have most likely bitched about being half live drawing and half live work. So they would have bitched about that. And that they would have made a big deal about the names. And keep in mind, the names that Deke ended up giving them were not the same names that Renaissance Atlantic Entertainment or New Birth Great Sea Glee had given them. But beyond that, I don't really know if they would have made a big deal out of it, or they would have said it was, the worstest thing they ever saw. So, at the end of the day, I think that, they would have bitched about that. And I think at the end of the day that it was a new telling, it was a standalone. I think the only things borrowed from it would have been some of the sagas or tales, but that would have been about it. And I think they would have bitched about this one under the grounds that, oh, I wish we gotten the drawing show back in the day and not this half drawing show, half live show. But I think they just would make a big deal out of things. And the first thing you want to say when it comes to names again, well, why they make a big deal about that? Because I think, well, mostly a lot of folks out there wouldn't really know too many Danish names. You see, most of the names that most of the names that English borrowed, and I say borrowed here because they don't belong to our speech, would be either the Latinist, Frenchist, Farsiest, Hellenist, Spanish, or Hebrewist names. It would be mostly the names most of the names that English would borrow. Very few names were borrowed from Danish. But anyway, and then as far as the starships go, yeah, they were in outer room and they were sailor fighters, so they would have given them starships to ride on. You know, and I don't think that would have been a big deal. You know, and then they would have bitched about how, oh, so now they're not from their former life and they're living this life now. Yeah, that would have been one, but at the end of the day, that'd be a way to keep it on like all the other tellings of it. And at the end of the day, having a show that had been half live drawings, half live work would have been cool to see how it would have been pulled off. You know, if that Sailor Moon would have gone beyond one following. You know. And I think at the end of the day, making a big deal about that, you know, I don't really think at the end of the day they would have. And the day I would have not made a big deal out of it, but they would have come up with things to make big deals of. Oh yeah, stead names. Yeah, we know that. They would have, you know, not really cared that much about it. But they would have made a big deal out of strike names. Because keep in mind, yes, very few folks would have known the strike names. And yes, the strike names would have been shifted to this one too. So yeah, they made a big deal of that. But at the end of the day, I don't think so. And, you know, Luna being white would have made it, would it be the only take where she wasn't blue or wasn't, you know, black. And I don't really think that would have been a big deal either. So, that's my film. And if you like this film, don't forget to follow me over here at the, you know, Sailor Moon for Life. Don't forget to, you know, follow and share in playlists, and I hit that ringer too, because when it works, sometimes it will show you when the next film is going on, the next upload, live stream, or short. I, Sailor Moon Serena, and I'll see you later. Goodbye. Farewell. So long.